mechanisms. There are many different ways to authenticate, so it's important to know how to handle user sessions properly and how to handle the data both on the user's device and the server. And this is where different state management techniques come into play. Of course, cookies are something you're going to hear about often. They allow you to store data in the user's browser sent by the server, commonly used for session management, tracking user preferences, and personalizing user experiences. The client sends cookies with every request to the same server, allowing the server to identify the user and maintain state across requests. Local storage is a different web storage mechanism that allows data to be stored in the user's web browser, provides a very simple key value storage. You can think of it like a basic JavaScript object stored in your user's browser, where users can also define their preferences, cache data, and store application state. It has a larger capacity than a cookie, which makes it useful for caching different static assets and even be used as offline data storage in PWAs. But it's not super secure. There's also session storage, which is similar to local storage, but it's cleared when the user session ends, when the browser is closed. It is commonly used for storing temporary data that should not persist across sessions, which makes it particularly useful to improve security by ensuring that sensitive data is not stored beyond user session. So how are we going to store sessions for authorization? Well, there's a few different ways. First of all, there is a session token, which is a unique identifier used to authenticate a user session. It's typically generated during the authentication process, and it is used to associate a user with their session data on the server. It is a common practice to store session tokens on the client side and send them with each request to authenticate the user. Keep in mind that session tokens are not associated with session-based authentication only. They can also be used with token-based authentication in form of a bearer tokens like JSON Web Tokens or JWTs. And now each one of these, like cookies, authorization headers, local storage, session storage, have their own pros and cons. So make sure to read the text below, as well as some additional documents which I decided to provide right below. After that, you can move to the next lesson.